Now this is a funny game.
Yeah, this looks cool.
This is like.
This is very Moliere. Hi, I'm Felicia's.
And I'm John Carlos. And this is our review of
Tumult Royale.
Yes.
It's French, eh?
That I'm doing is French. Yeah. You know what's cool about this game and why I did that? Because you're all playing as nobles, and the point of the game is to have the most statues of yourself on the board. Isn't that great? Like, it's perfect for us because we're narcissistic
I'm taking
idiots.
This is mine.
It's a really good game.
In Tumult Royale, you take on the role of a narcissistic noble trying to embellish the land with the most statues of, well, yourself. Be the first to place all 25 statues or have placed the most at the end of the game and you'll win. The game board here is set up for 4 players. The boards were all placed here randomly, 4 face up in the middle and 2 face down on each end. Each player will get their castle board with 25 matching statue pawns placed in their board. They also receive 15 worth of supporters and a mercy card on the side of the people show no mercy. All commodity tiles should be placed face down and mixed in a pool near the middle for easy access to all players. The oldest player will shuffle the nobility cards under the table and then place them in a stack. He'll draw the first one and the next player on his left will draw the next one, and so on. They'll place their double-sided male or female cards here. Give the king or queen the Tumult spinner and hourglass, or use a 20-second timer on your phone. Now, starting with the lowest ranking player, he'll place the leftmost statue on the unoccupied pasture field. Second lowest ranking does the same until the king or queen finish this step.
The sequence of round consists of 7 phases neatly written on your castle board. The first phase is to gauge the people's sentiment. This simply means the king or queen will spin the arrow. This number will be important later on in the round. Next phase is collect taxes. First, each player will remove 3 commodity tiles without looking at them. Then the king will start the timer, and each player, with one hand only, will look at the tile and decide to take it or not. The 3 types of commodities are bread, marble, and hammers, and each tile will show one type on either 1, 2, or 3 quantities. These commodities will be used later in the round to build the player's statue. Depending on where they want to put it, each terrain will require a certain number of commodities. Why not take all the tiles then before the timer runs out? Well, I'll let Felicia explain the next phase, resolve potential tumults.
Are you sure you want Felicia to explain anything?
You're fine.
When the timer runs out, all the remaining tiles in the common area are flipped. For each type of commodity, there needs to be a total quantity of at least as many listed on the Tumult spinner. Should a type be missing, you need to see which player took the most of that type. This player becomes the greediest for that commodity. When this happens, that player will lose all the tiles of that commodity except for one with the lowest quantity on it. On top of that, he loses 3 supporters. These will become more important in a later phase. When done, we move on to the next phase. Place statues.
Starting with the highest ranking player, they'll spend commodities to place a statue on any empty space orthogonally to a statue they own. You can, however, pay the cost here to place statues anywhere, not only adjacent, on an empty pasture or forest, by paying as shown. When placing a statue, always start from the leftmost one. Depending on the terrain in which you'll place statues, you'll place as many statues there to fill up the empty spaces. For example, you'll place 2 statues in a village and 3 statues in a castle by simply paying the cost once as listed. If you use more commodities than required to build statues, the extra converts into supporters at a ratio of 1:1. You cannot, however, use extra commodity tiles for payment than necessary to gain supporters this way. Also, you'll only place statues on 1 terrain per turn. Then the next highest ranking player, and so on. When the turn comes back to you, if you have commodities, you can pay again to place statues on 1 terrain. When no player can continue placing statues, discard the remaining tiles, mixing them all in the common area along with the ones removed for that round. We then go to the next phase, redistribute ranks.
Here each player simply counts the number of total supporters they have. The highest gets the King-Queen card. Second highest supporter becomes Duke-Duchess. Third gets that should be reversed, but okay. Third gets Prince-Princess, and the player with the least gets the Earl-Countess. Isn't a prince higher than a duke or duchess? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know. But I don't know why it's like that, yeah.
It's okay. We then go on to the crowning the new king or queen. The player who was awarded the king card returns 5 supporter to the supply. Then he'll place a statue on the leftmost space on the Royal Chronicle track. By the third round, the player placing the statue here will flip his choice of tile or tiles depending on the number of players they are. This is repeated on round 5. As of round 6, the king will place 2 of his statues here. Also, the number here denotes if the game ends or not. Should the spread between the player who placed the most and least statue exceeds this number, the game ends immediately and the player who put the most statues wins. If not, the game continues on to the next step. Receive People's Mercy. The player who has placed the least statues so far from his board flips the mercy card over to the people show mercy. If there's a tie for lowest, they all flip this card. On the next round, these players will count one less commodity for tumult purposes to see who's the greediest. Then a new round begins with the new king or queen spinning the tumult arrow. The player to first put off 25 statues or to have placed the most statues at the endgame wins.
Opening the box, you'll notice quality components and the light, fun artwork that goes extremely well with this style of game. And that style is just some humorous, light fun. Gameplay runs extremely smoothly, making it a quick game still packed with lots of tactical choices and light overall strategy. What we found great is the fact that you literally are fighting over resources, giving this game some unique and original mechanics we haven't seen in a while. We also like the fact that you're always in the game thanks to a catch-up mechanic of the crowned king losing 5 supporters and the player with the fewest statues getting the people show mercy. On the flip side, however, it can do that slingshot mechanic where the person way back gets propelled in the front. And doing so at the right time can clinch the win, and that is actually something due to luck more than anything. It's dependent on available resource, rank, people's mercy, and so forth. Also, 20 seconds is enough time to go through all the remaining tiles to see if a tumult will happen or not, grabbing what you can. There is a variant we prefer where you spin the tumult spinner after the tax collecting phase. This way, you're gambling on how many resources you leave behind. All in all, this game is a lot of fun. Perfect for any level gamers. Cosmo did it again, putting out another great game, and from us, it gets 8 off with her head out of 10.
That's
coffee.
E te lo presento qua.
So there you go. That's Tumult Royale.
I want to hurt you. Like, I want to drop his mug, drop the box, slap him out, pull his hair a bit. In that order. In that order.
I don't know what happened for me to garner such vitriol. I love that word.
I know.
Vitriol.
We just speak that way from now on. Like in
We should speak all day.
Hey, good day, noble sir.
Yes. You
Top
have
of the
such
morning
vitriol.
to you.
Look, you spilled coffee on my...
Good.
Now slap him and pull his hair.
Wow, what the hell is going on?